The tilt is real.
Tilt is real.
This is when the tilt is real. Let's go.
Welcome to another episode of the Tilt is Real Fantasy Podcast. Coming to you live from the chef's table, here are your hosts, James Crease and Juan Pena.
Let's go. Welcome back to another episode of the Tilt is Real Fantasy Football Podcast. We are back with another great, fun-filled episode today. It's me, the FF Chef, James, and your boy, Mr. John Swanson. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on? It is Wednesday, my dudes. Happy to be here. What a week one, man.
Oh man, it was exciting, dude. It was great to have football on the screen. We were talking a little bit pre-show. I had my son, and for whatever reason, I mean, you know me pretty well. When it comes to football, I like to yell, especially when my fantasy players are doing great and terrible. And it must be a chip off the old block because my son found his voice on Sunday morning. And he is yelling at the screen with his dad. It was hilarious. It was nostalgic. It was perfect. And here we are, man. It's week 2.
That's great, Chef. That's so awesome. You know it's in him. You know football is in him.
It's in
and
the
if
blood,
you guys
baby.
watching football with Chef, yeah, he likes to yell. He likes to. I think you didn't you like pull a hamstring or something one time when you and I were both celebrating something?
What
was that?
It's pretty funny actually. I think I remember the moment. It was the Stephon Diggs catch. I don't remember what catch it was. I know it was a Stephon Diggs touchdown. And I jumped up to high five you, and I strained my calf.
That's what it was. Yeah. When Chef celebrates, he celebrates hard, ladies and gentlemen. You got to love it.
Man. Well, we'll be talking a little bit more injuries today in our weekly reel. We got a lot of stuff going on today. We're going to go over a quick review of the Waiver Wire Hero Show, just in case, some of those players that dropped today, you did not pick them up, but you never know. Like some people just drop players not knowing their real long-term value for fantasy. Sure. We'll talk about a little bit of that. We have a mailbag, a little bit of a mailbag segment. Shout out Brad Urseg, who wrote into the show this week. And we're going to do a little bit of week 2 plays of the week, maybe some sleeper picks. And of course, the Thursday night preview. My boys going up against the Washington football team. Oh yeah. It's going to be another tough week for the Giants fans out there, but we're here to discuss it. For all of you that are listening on podcast form and you'd like to be part of the show, jump on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button at the Tilt is Real, and hop in the chat. We're here to help you out, win your leagues. Also, check us out on Twitter at the Tilt is Real, all caps. All right. What do we got going on in the chat? Zach argues, turn around and saying, fellas, hell of a call on Deebo Samuel. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, man, he lit it up.
That was a little unfortunate for Brandon Ayuk, man. It was
no
one expected it. Shanahan kept that one close to the vest, and Deebo got a lot of work, and I expect him to get a lot more coming up in week 2.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Big Greens in the house. He's saying he called the upset. Who dat?
Yeah,
man,
wow.
Was that it was an upset, dude. It
Talking about
upset.
Going big against Green. Wow.
I mean, wow. I mean, if you tease that spread at all, my goodness.
I mean, what is your takeaway from that? Like, is that just Aaron Rodgers like spending too much time doing State Farm commercials and enjoying his year off, his season off, or is it just like what happened, man?
He doesn't want to be in Green Bay.
It's got to be it, right? I think
he doesn't want to be
him
in
the front
Bay.
office because he's got a good relationship with McCarthy. I feel like it's just that him and the front office aren't. It's just it's messing up his game. Yeah,
it showed that he did not practice during the offseason. He was involved in Jeopardy. He had
that's what it was.
contract dispute going on there, and he was not happy. He was prepared to sit out this year,
Yeah.
and I think they made him happy enough to where they said, "Okay, we'll pay you." And he said, "Okay, one last dance in Lambeau." And unfortunately, he didn't look the same. His long arc ball looked good, except for when he threw it as an interception. And like his hip action, his footwork, everything looked sloppy, and they lost because of it. The Saints were ready, Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers was not. That's how I look at it. And I don't think it'll be the same week 2.
No, going against Detroit, I don't think it'll be the same.
Yeah,
They're
going up
definitely
against
gonna.
Detroit, it's a divisional game. And, Aaron Rodgers is that kind of guy where he could just come back and just crush it.
Sure,
So
absolutely.
it's going to be, if it happens in week 2, it's going to be very, very hard to peg.
And speaking of crushing it, Antonio, welcome in. I want to hear about this. He says, won both my games, one of them by a stat correction. That's awesome. What was the stat correction? If you could type that in and let us know, because I would love to hear that. Because I've only won, there's been one game where I've won by a stat correction, and that's a feeling that that's a good feeling, man. It's also a horrible feeling if you're on the other side.
Feeling. Yeah.
I've lost games by stat correction in our league of record, I believe.
I had 2 bad beats this week. One in the Scott Fish Bowl. I came back. I was down. Shout out Scott Fish. I was down by 45 points going into Monday night. I had Lamar Jackson and Josh Jacobs. Now, for those of you that are unaware of Scott Fish Bowl, you get big negatives when the quarterbacks do bag. And I was doing well. I was happy. I passed the competition. I was up by 1.5 points with 2 minutes left. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to lose this, And then it went into overtime, and I'm like, oh, yeah, just give it to Josh Jacobs. Let him run, this, that, and the other. Well, guess what? That Lamar Jackson fumble, I lost by 1.2 points.
Wow. I lost
ahead
by
and it dropped
1.8 points for almost the same thing in our dynasty league of record in the old Dirty Dynasty. I was up against Keith, and I was projected to lose, and I came all the way back. And I was driving home from work, and I had just gotten through the dead area, and I was able to put the game back on, and it was in overtime. The dead zone. And it just hurt, man, because I was really hoping for it. And then he fumbles the ball, and then that was all she wrote. But that's what's great about fantasy football, is that these Monday night games, these Thursday night games that go into overtime, you get free football, you get extra football. Like, that's what I really love. And I will say, for the first time in a while, I feel like, especially at the start of the season, the Thursday night and the Monday night games were awesome.
Absolutely wonderful.
Really, really, really good games. And it's hard to find that. Usually they're like especially the Thursday night games. But hopefully that stays true to form and continues going on, because I love exciting football on Thursday and Monday. And shout out to Justin in the chat. What's going on? Justin went 3-2. J-Rob didn't get that many touches, and Aaron Jones. Look, I know I feel terrible about my J-Rob call. I was thinking about it last couple of days, but I think game script had a lot to do with that. I wouldn't give up on it quite yet. And we got some tilts coming in really quick here before we get to our next segment. Let's jump on this one. Justin wants to know start 2. OBJ, Mitchell, Gordon, James White, and Van Jefferson. How do you feel about starting Elijah Mitchell going into Philly?
Going into Philly, I'm a little hesitant.
Yeah.
I like Melvin Gordon this week.
I like Melvin Gordon.
He is one of my guys. I would say you have to roll with Mitchell.
Yeah,
after what we saw in week 1, depending on the word coming out of training, out of practice this week, if he is the top guy in that offense, Shanahan likes to play the top guy and filter in other things. But he was ahead of Trey Sermon on the depth chart. That reason being why Trey Sermon was a healthy scratch. And I think, I would have to definitely roll with that.
So that OG2K, welcome in. Elijah Mitchell or Damien Harris?
Ooh, I haven't really looked at the Damien Harris matchup yet. Who are they playing?
Damien Harris is going against the Jets.
Give me Harris.
Yeah, I'll take Harris. See,
I'm a little
solid
scared of that
RB2,
Eagles
probably around 20
defense. That rush
touches.
defense is pretty strong. So I know Elijah Mitchell lit it up last week or on Monday night, but it's going to be tough.
And if OJ, if you want to trade one of those away, I'd say see if you could trade one of them away now, or you could wait a week and see if it hits again, and then really get some value out of that trade. But that's smart.
I would actually trade Elijah Mitchell away now.
Would you do it now?
Right
after
now,
the
his
waivers
market
run?
value
Oh,
is
you know what?
through the roof.
It is. Go look at your if your waivers just ran. Go look at your waivers and see who, if you have a fab system, who put the most on Elijah Mitchell, and then who just missed Elijah Mitchell, and then go offer that guy a trade.
Perfect.
All right.
Well, we got more questions in the chat, but we're going to have to pause a little bit and get into our segments here. We got the waiver wire heroes today. We got weekly reel. So we will get to your questions. We will definitely get to your questions, your start sits, your tilts. But let's get into the weekly reel.
Let's keep it real.
You do me a favor and pull that down. Shoot. Where is it? No. I was trying to get the comment off the screen before that. My bad. Let's go.
It's the weekly reel, presented by the Tilt is Real. It's the weekly reel. Let me hear the news.
Oh man, we had a lot of news coming in this week. Week one, obviously. First and foremost, we'll start out with the tweak of the week, Mr. Swanson, and that is none other than Raheem Mostert, out for the season now, which is bad for him and his career. But like we were talking in the top of the show, Elijah Mitchell, Trey Sermon, Jermichael Hasty, and then they go out and sign Juwan Johnson to the practice squad.
Yeah.
It seems like Kyle Shanahan loves his stable of running backs, and he can't get enough of them.
Yeah. I don't really know. I wouldn't get too crazy about the carry-on signing.
No.
But it definitely this hurts, man. It's week one injuries that take you out for the season. That's never a good thing. They're giving Elijah Mitchell first crack at number one role. Let's see how he does. He did well last week. Let's see if he can keep that up. He was the top waiver priority for everybody. He's going up against Philly next week, but yeah, that's definitely tough having Mostert out for the season.
Yeah, and Philly did give up 25 fantasy points to the running back last week, so I think it can happen. It's a little bit iffy, but it all depends on your matchup, and we will be tilting on this all week long, Mr. Swanson. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, we don't say the C word on this show. And I see some new people in the chat, so shout out there. But it's the 2020 list, and Jamison Crowder is cleared to return in week 2. Good signs for the Jets there. Yep. But the Saints coaching staff, 6 coaches and a nutritionist, man, must not have been that nutritional, have been confirmed positive with the 2020, along with veteran wide receiver Michael Thomas, who is on the PUP list. So obviously away from the team regardless, not going to be on the field. I think this just throws a wrench in the Saints game. They came off the week 1 matchup against the Packers, and now they have to go up against Carolina with a limited coaching staff, which could lead to problems, especially in the beginning of the week with practice.
Yeah, I could see it leading to problems. Keep an eye on that game. Keep an eye on to see how things move along this week, because just because they did what they did to Green Bay doesn't mean they're going to do the same thing to Carolina.
For sure.
What else we got?
We got the Ravens released running back Trenton Cannon. Trenton Cannon was upgraded from the practice squad for Monday night. But Tyson Williams, he handled his business, and Latavius Murray did as well. I think it is these two guys going forward. And Mr. Swanson, if you watched the game Monday night or saw a replay of it, Williams looked like J.K. Dobbins, and Latavius Murray looked like Gus Edwards.
You know what? If you didn't know, if there were no names on the back of the jerseys and you were just coming out of a rock, and just, you would have thought, okay, there it is. There's the tandem that we expected to start the season. So that's a really, really reassuring thing for the Ravens in general, because losing running back after running back after running back, and then losing Marcus Peters, like, it's just been very, very tough for the Ravens in general to kind of reinvent the wheel and how to figure things out. But Tyson Williams did his thing, and so did Latavius Murray. And I think it might kind of settle down all the craziness for the running back room over there in Baltimore.
Yeah, Tyson Williams is the guy to have. Latavius Murray, great backup to have. He may have flex consideration week to week depending on the matchup.
Yep.
The Broncos placed wide receiver Jerry Jeudy on IR. High ankle sprain. This one hurts, man, because Jerry Jeudy was poised to have a great year 2, and gonna have to wait a little bit longer, Jerry. Sorry, Jerry. But upgrade Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, and Tim Patrick. Now, Tim Patrick's very interesting, and I don't want to get into it too much. We'll talk about it in a little bit with the waiver wire hero sheet. But he was very fantasy relevant at times last year, and he could be an easy pickup off your waiver wire, or if he's available, just as a free pickup after waivers cleared today. Last piece of news, and we will be on our way. Ryan Fitzpatrick placed on IR, hip subluxation. I can't say it right. I'm not good with medical
sounds
terms.
right. I remember hearing it, and I was like, "That's
subluxation. Subluxation.
Subluxation.
That's what it is.
Okay, that's it."
Long story short, his hip is out of place, and he will not be in Washington playing on the field. Excuse me. Taylor Heineke comes back. Crack open that nice Taylor Heineke. It's going to be a nice ride on Thursday night.
Yeah, sure is. It's going to be fun to watch. All right.
So we got some questions in the chat. Do we have things going on here? Yeah, we
do.
All right, let's hit some of these guys up so they're not waiting impatiently. Where are we at?
Right here. I got this one right here. We'll just to segue from the last one. What is the Terry value after the Fitz injury? Do you like Terry's almost quarterback proof?
I think he's not quarterback proof. We saw him downgrade last season. I would downgrade him again this season due to the Fitz. I upgraded him when Fitz had the starting role. So yeah, Terry McLaurin, it's going to be a downgrade, and we'll talk about our players of the week. I don't want to save it because some of those players on the offense will get a bump up due to Heineke. But I can assure you that it's going to be a run first offense from here on out.
You see that catch?
Yeah.
Where Terry was just basically
the one great
backwards.
Catch. Yes.
The one great catch. I mean, just like, I love seeing that. Yeah, the one great catch. OG2K wants to know if you would accept Elijah Mitchell and Mark Andrews for giving up Waller.
Ooh.
I
mean, if you need a running back, maybe.
Yeah, okay. If you really need a
running back, okay. Otherwise, you're good at tight end with Waller, and Waller is going to be maybe the top tight end this season, especially after what we saw, 19 targets on Monday night, and he could be the first tight end to actually get like 20 plus targets. So,
sure.
Gruden came out today and said, or yesterday, I believe it was, that he's a wide receiver. He's our guy. We're going to give it to him as much as possible. And everybody else behind him is, way down the list. So that should say enough. I don't know if I would give up Elijah Mitchell and Mark Andrews for him, unless you're in desperate need of a running back already. Like if you had J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards and you didn't get Tyson Williams. Yeah, or if if you had Mostert and you didn't get the waiver claim in there, that would be consideration. So it all has to do with roster construction on that one.
Justin wants to know DJ Moore, Allen Robinson, Justin Jefferson, or Waddle start 2 out of those. I'm going to say Justin Jefferson is. I'm going to want to fire him
Justin Jefferson, you kind of have to lock him in there. I like A-Rob as a comeback this week.
Who do the Bears play this week?
The Bears play. I was just looking at it, man.
Cincy. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Cincinnati, and then Waddle plays my Buffalo. I'm no.
I know.
Stay away from that. DJ Moore plays
And we
he plays New Orleans with
New Orleans,
Marshawn
yeah.
Lattimore out. It's a tough one between Justin Jefferson, A-Rob, and DJ Moore. What are you thinking here?
I guess I would go with Marshawn Lattimore being out. Maybe I would kind of lean maybe DJ Moore, just because I thought Stafford. I thought Darnold looked pretty good. I do like A-Rob against Cincy, though. But I feel like they're gonna get a lot done on the ground, so that could open.
I'm looking for.
What you looking for, Chef?
Looking for the matchup there. I'm gonna go with A-Rob and Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Justin Jefferson playing against Arizona. They should be able to give up some points there.
Oh yeah, Jefferson's locked in. But so between Moore and Robinson, you're going A-Rob?
I'm going A-Rob. Yep.
Okay, cool. Let's go A-Rob. I like it. And Cole Pierce, welcome in. Do you trade away Swift for Evans?
For Mike Evans?
For Mike Evans?
No.
It's not Darrington Evans.
It's definitely not Darrington Evans. And no.
I would say
Evans,
no. Don't do that.
No.
Hang on to
Swift has the capability of being the running back one this season with his pass catching work that we saw in week 1. Obviously, a favorable target. We said that the offense was going to run through Swift and Hockenson, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, they almost came back and beat the 49ers. I couldn't believe it. But Swift you should see more of the same from Swift. Spread. You should see more of Swift doing what he did. I would not trade away Swift unless it's for a haul.
Yeah, a big haul. And I'm going to jump to Zach Argue here because this is the tilt. This is you got to start both of these guys, Melvin Gordon or David Montgomery this week. I think my advice here is find a way to start both.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you should try to find a way to. It's going to be tough, but I mean, I think you find a way to start both if you can.
Yeah.
Those are two of our starts of the week.
Are those our starts of the week?
Those are our starts of the week. Yeah, that's why.
Should have saved it for later. All right, keep going down.
Little foreshadowing. Clap nuts. What's up?
What's up, nuts?
What's up, nuts? Start Jacoby Myers, Kirk, or Boyd in the flex.
I like Jacoby Myers.
Sure, yeah, me too.
I like Jacoby going up against the Jets this week.
All right, that was easy, nice and easy. Moving on to more here. Antonio wants to know DJ Moore or Antonio Brown in PPR. Who are the
Bucks are playing? Damn, why can't I get this right?
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yep. Bucks are playing Atlanta. You got to worry about
wheels up, Antonio Jones.
Antonio
Brown.
Wheels Antonio up. Jones. Yeah, Antonio Jones. I take Antonio Antonio Jones.
Antonio Jones.
Right there. That is good stuff. Cole Pierce says start 2. Swift, Henderson, Gordon. I got Swift and Gordon. Cool. All right. Justin wants to know, will J-Rob be an RB2 this week?
Oh, man. That's going to be tough, dude.
Yeah, I know. Against Denver.
That's going to be really tough against Denver. We saw them swarm Saquon Barkley. Oh, man. And Robinson and the Jaguars did not look good, dude. I don't know.
No, they were playing from behind. I think it was a negative game script. I don't like Urban Meyer.
I'm going to say no. He's not going to be an RB2 this week.
Yeah.
If you have somebody better, play him.
Yeah, I think there's matchups that are going to be week 3 against Arizona, week 4 against Cincinnati. I think there are matchups that are going to be positive for James Robinson, but if you have somebody else, I would say maybe pivot for right now. And Zach says, do I start one of those over CMC? I guess he means, do you start Melvin Gordon or David Montgomery over CMC? No. Oh, he says, okay, so never mind. He also has CMC. Do I start one of those over Debo? Okay, so in a flex, do you start Melvin Gordon or David Montgomery? Do you put Debo in for one of those guys? Against Philly, there's no. Yeah, I would say
tough tilts.
I would say Debo. I would put Debo in.
I would want to play Debo in, and then I would probably, make my choice between David Montgomery and Melvin Gordon that way. Yeah, you definitely want to put Debo in, especially with Ayuk banged up, and the Eagles' secondary is
banged up.
banged up a little bit.
Yep. All right. And let's get to these next few here. Wow, man, it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, we're going.
I love it.
We got to move fast.
I love it, man. All right, so OG2K wants to know, is Andrews and Elijah Mitchell for Waller a fair trade? I guess he was out for it when we answered that one. So it's a fair trade for somebody who needs a running back. Like if you were getting Andrews and Elijah Mitchell and giving away Waller, I would hope that you would seriously be in need of a running back and not just wanting to add depth because of the hype and the new role.
Yeah, I would stick with Waller. It's a fair trade, but
it is. All right. Eric Brewer, are you guys playing Saquon this week? I have Sutton or Mitchell on the bench. Yes, I'm playing Saquon this week. We'll get into the matchup later, but Saquon has famously torched Washington in the past by a lot.
I may actually play Mitchell.
Really?
Yeah. Really? Short week, coming off of it, and he faces one of the best defenses in the league. He was on a snap count last Sunday. He's probably going to be on a snap count again on Thursday. I'm a little iffy about Saquon this week. I really am. And we knew this going into the season when you drafted him, and that's why he fell in drafts, because he was still banged up and they were going to have him on a snap count. So
was he still a little banged up in 2019? Was he like in December? I can't remember exactly what his injury status was.
When he blew up against Miami?
The last time Saquon played Washington was in 2019, and he had 279 scrimmage yards with a career high 189 on the ground.
Yeah, but he was healthy.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I can't remember exactly what his health was at the time.
Yeah, no, I think it's more attributed to health and snap count. I'm a little iffy on it. I think Mitchell might get it. Sutton is a good pivot as well.
Okay. TS wants to know Mitchell, Hunt, or Juju for flex PPR. Panic on Rodgers. Panic on Rodgers? Question mark.
Mitchell,
I kind of like
Juju. Man, some tough tilts today, man.
Yeah, these are tough. I guess
Mitchell, Hunt, or Juju. Huh.
That's time.
Panic on Rodgers. No, I'm not panicking on Rodgers just yet. I think he should have a decent game up against, what we say, Detroit, correct? He's playing against Detroit. Yeah. Mitchell, Hunt, or Roger, or Juju. Damn. That's going to be tough. Juju might get some work, man, going up against the Raiders this week.
Yeah, the Raiders, he might get some work. I kind of like Kareem Hunt up against Houston.
That's another good one right there. And then Elijah Mitchell, obviously, we talked about that going up against Philly. I think I like Hunt. I think Hunt for the safe floor.
Yeah, I think. Okay, sure. Let's go Hunt for the floor there.
Yeah.
All right. Depending on how the rest of your team looks, if you don't need like a crazy upside play, I'd say, yeah, go for the Hunt for the floor. Justin says, do I start Javonte Williams, Rojo, James White over James Robinson? Or wait, what?
I hate to say this, but I think I'm going Rojo here, man.
Okay.
Only reason being is he just got listed as the number one starter. They are giving him his second chance, and I believe that he can do something against Atlanta. You know, we saw the Eagles just decimate them, over 175 rushing yards. So Rojo, just as long as he doesn't drop the ball, he's going to give you fantasy points this week.
Okay. All right. All right. And oh man, we got Evan Ingram is out again this week.
Yes,
is that breaking news?
Yeah, it's breaking news.
Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, Evan Ingram is out again this week. Thank you, Zach. I did not know that.
So more of the same. Boo Sterling Shepard again.
Yep. So I sit Barkley. So if he sits Barkley, he has Robinson, Montgomery, and Harris. I would have to start 4 wide receivers if I do that. PPR: Adams, Godwin, Shenault, Landry.
That's not a bad.
It's not bad at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, I would be okay with that. Landry has a good matchup going against Hargreaves and Houston. Shenault. I mean, we saw him get a lot of work in the passing
Yeah.
game, and I'm sure he will again. Godwin was fire, and Adams should have a bounce back game with Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with
That's very
Robinson,
nice.
Montgomery, and Harris. If you sat Barkley, yeah, I'm nervous about Barkley. I really am.
I get it. I guess I do get it. I guess after week 1, you
I
kind of
love you,
start him. But
Justin.
Justin, man, I
Thanks,
love you,
bro.
man. Everyone, like up the stream and sub if you can. Thank you. Please smash that sub button, smash that like
Hit
button.
that like and subscribe button.
Yeah, we're trying to get up there. I think we're at 80. We're at 80 something right now.
We need 15 more, man, and then we can get our little YouTube thing.
Yeah, which would be super cool if we can get up to 100. So help us get there.
We've been trying.
And Brandon Vlog says, "What's going on, Brandon? Welcome in. Should I start Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts?
Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts? Oof.
Man, because that's a tough one too. It really is. Man. I would go Hurts, man. I don't feel comfortable about Josh Allen up against the Dolphins as much as I do with Hurts.
I think Josh Allen has a little bit of a better game than he did week 1, but Jalen Hurts, man, you ride him until the wheels fall off. San Francisco gave up a lot of points to Detroit, and with the running game as well, I think they can get it done on the ground. You know, his running floor is safe. Probably at least another 60 yards rushing from Jalen Hurts, along with another 3 touchdowns. I just want to see his passing yardage get above 250, and you'll have a decent week. We saw it this week. You know, I'd love to see him throw for 300 yards, but it's not their game script. They're playing 12 personnel. They're utilizing the tight ends, and they're obviously utilizing Jalen Reagor and Devontae Smith. So I would go Hurts. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close, Brandon. But that's the way I lean.
Oh, he just missed it. He had 57 on the ground. I thought he eclipsed 60.
Yeah, it was close.
Oh, no, he did. He rushed 7 times for 62 yards.
62. Yeah, I thought it was close.
Yeah, so he did. All right, yeah, so that's great. I love that. His floor is 60 yards rushing every game. That's awesome. That's 10 points.
Yeah.
Or that's 6 fantasy points.
6 fantasy points.
That's great. You got to love that. Lucius, sorry you had a bad week, man.
Sorry, Lucius. It'll get better.
It's going to get better. It's got a long season. He does want to know what we think of Sutton with Judy out. Is there an upgrade?
Absolutely upgrade.
Absolutely, there is.
Absolutely upgrade. And I can see Hamler and Tim Patrick getting it as well.
I like this one here too. Clapnut says, trade J-Rob and Boyd for Clyde Edwards-Helaire or J-Rob and Kirk. I kind of want to, or he says,
J-Rob and Boyd. J-Rob and Boyd. Yeah, I would do J-Rob and Boyd or J-Rob and Kirk. Yeah, I would do J-Rob and Kirk for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Yeah.
J-Rob and Kirk. Yeah, I would do that if someone's going to.
If someone's and you know what, you may have to wait a week. You may have to wait your time now with J-Rob because he did not show up too much. And, people are going to start picking on Jacksonville a little bit. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Yeah, I'm hoping that that turns around over there, but it might be tough for a bit. Zach Arky says, Sterling Shepard, Chase Claypool, Marquise Brown start 2. I do like Shepard this week, man.
You like Shepard this week?
Don't you? Mm-hmm. Or are we saying Slayton?
No, I was saying that earlier that I liked Shepard.
Didn't you say you like Shepard? Yeah. I mean, I like him with Engram's going to be out and
Shepard, Claypool, and
just came back in Hollywood. I mean, Shepard is going up against Washington. That's a tough defense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a tough matchup. He's more of a... So I guess Sterling Shepard's kind of like you're approaching it here as an RB or a wide receiver 3. I didn't see... What did Marquise... What did he have?
Marquise did well, man. He caught all 6 of his targets and a touchdown.
And a touchdown, that's right. So, 6 for 69 for a touchdown.
It looks like he's going to be just
Scott
fine
Bateman's
this
still
season.
Out. They're figuring out the run game. Like, yeah, I feel like he'd be okay against KC. KC let up, and that was a close game. It didn't need to be close.
I think, I think Marquise Brown will do okay again this week. So that's a
Cool.
tough one, man.
There's a lot of tough ones. You guys are
start 2. I think I'm gonna go Shepard and Marquise Brown.
Sure. Yeah, I like that too.
Claypool.
A little bit of breaking news here.
Claypool's going up against
Breaking
the
news.
Raiders.
A little bit of breaking news.
Give me Claypool and Marquise Brown on that.
Got breaking news.
No OBJ for
Justin
week 2.
broke it. Yep.
No OBJ. All right, good, because that's gonna pop my sleeper guy. That's awesome. That is awesome. Okay. Well, it's not awesome. Well, it's not OBJ, awesome, but
right. But it is for the clarity of that is fantasy football before the week starts. Hollywood always has a good opening game, then fades. Then he comes back in the middle of the season when you don't expect it, and he's on your bench.
Well, what do we expect from? And let's move on to. Since the guys are asking, let's get this waiver wire hero sheet in here real fast.
Okay.
People can look just a little bit. Let's see here. Boop, there it is. Boop, there it is. And let's get rid of that.
So every week, what we're going to do is we're going to put together this waiver wire heroes sheet. Chef does a great job of putting this together. Basically, we started this last year after the week 2 massacre when everybody went out with the 2020 and everybody got injured. We were like, how are we gonna fix this? So
how would we field a fantasy team? Because we all lost like 3 or 4 players.
Exactly. So we wanted to build a fantasy team based on everybody that would possibly be on your waiver wire. We give you the owner percentage, the projected points, who they're playing against, and we give you
their home team.
Obviously their home team.
So real fast, I'll run it down, Mr. Swanson. The 2 quarterbacks this week were Jameis Winston and Teddy Bridgewater. Obviously, Elijah Mitchell, Latavius Murray were running backs, along with James White. And I believe I threw Tony Pollard in there as a flex play for a running back. Yeah, I like his pass catching upside and his utilization, especially with Lyle Collins being out for 5 games. I think Zeke might have to step up and block a little bit more. Yep. Christian Kirk, we just discussed a little bit. Sterling Shepard, obviously going up against Washington. With Evan Ingram, with the news that Evan Ingram is out, if you watch the waiver wire show that I put out yesterday morning, and it will go out every Tuesday, check out our podcast as well at The Tilt is Real, wherever you get your podcast. It's in podcast form. Sterling Shepard was 24.8% owned in leagues. And this is ESPN ownership percentage. So, he should have been available. Tim Patrick, another one. Great with the Jerry Jeudy news going out there. Cedric Wilson was kind of like a fill-in because of Michael Gallup.
Sure.
And, like honorable mentions, Nelson Aguilar, Rondell Moore. I think Nelson Aguilar has a great matchup against the Jets this week. And Tyler Heineke. Taylor? I wrote Tyler. It's Taylor. Taylor Heineke going up against the Giants on Thursday. I don't want to play him. Just to get this clear, I don't want to play Taylor Heineke. I want to see what he can do as the starter in week 2 on a short week. If he shows out that he can stretch the field with not just dink and dunk passes, that'll be a boost for him. Otherwise, I'm staying away from him unless obviously you're the Ryan Fitzpatrick owner in a 2 QB or super flex league. And then the tight ends, man. Jared Cook. Whew. And I think he's your guy of the week, isn't he? You want to talk about him real fast here?
Yeah, we'll talk about it real fast here then. So my sleeper of the week is actually a guy who has been in the league for 13 years. He's 34 years old, and that is Jared Cook. 8 targets, 5 catches, 56 yards, and that was against a good Washington defense week 1. And now he's going up against Dallas, and you saw what happened last week. So if you're looking to stream a tight end this week, they're going against Dallas, and I am all about that move. I feel like Jared Cook is one of those guys that he does super well for your fantasy team every year, and no one ever remembers.
Yeah.
And he did well for me a couple of years back, and that's just target him if you're looking to stream tight ends this week.
Yeah, only own 22.6% of leagues, man. It's easy money. And obviously, Juwan Johnson from the New Orleans Saints. Juwan Johnson looks like O.J. Howard did when James Winston was out of Tampa Bay. And I like Juwan Johnson, converted wide receiver to tight end. And he's going to start flashing a lot more, especially up against Carolina. I think he's going to do well. So if you're needing a pinch, both of those guys should be available. Check out the Waiver Wire Heroes show Tuesdays. around 10 a.m. live and or on podcast form, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes.
All right.
All
So
right.
that was good.
So
we touched on the Thursday night game. We touched on what else did we touch? We touched on the waiver wire heroes. Let me get back to the show
of the
sheet.
week.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I guess we can answer a couple questions if you'd like.
Yeah,
we
let's
got
do
a couple in here.
Yeah, so going back up here, just quick one right here from OG2K, Adam Thielen or Cooper Kupp.
Ooh, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
man.
Cooper Kupp, bro.
He's having breakfast every morning with Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, dude. That is, I'm so happy. I was so, like, watching Matthew Stafford. It was like Christmas, like waiting all day long to watch that Monday night game because I was like, I can't wait to see Matthew Stafford with Sean McVay.
Yeah,
and it was just,
wow.
Oh, man, it felt great. It really did. Is he really having breakfast with them every day?
Every day.
That's so
every
cool.
Every day they had breakfast during training camp.
Yeah. I love that. That's cool, man. That's great. You're building a relationship. You're building a rapport. And that's actually, I even wrote that down here. Like, you love the familiarity and the connection.
Yeah, and we saw Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf torch Indy with Russell Wilson. Look for more of the same from Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and even Van Jefferson as a sneaky little start there if you're in need of a flex play.
Yeah, I think it can happen again. 10 targets, 7 catches for 108, and a touchdown for Cooper Kupp week 1.
Yeah, well, dude, he was fire.
Yeah, he was.
I'm a little mad because I'm a Robert Woods guy. You know, I love my Bobby Trees, but
Cooper
Kupp has been resurrected with Matthew Stafford there in that offense.
Absolutely. So we got okay, so then he says Thielen, Kupp, or Jefferson start two. And I would go Kupp and Jefferson there.
Thielen, Kupp, and Jefferson. Yeah, give me Kupp and Jefferson. Can't play both Minnesota Vikings. That wouldn't be good.
That would be good. And then should I pick up Winston for Tannehill as my bench QB? Still coming in from OG2K.
Yes. Yes.
Showing up.
As a bench as a bench QB? I guess so. I mean, Tannehill did not look good. We knew the Titans were going to be a little banged up.
It's definitely not a 2 QB league because both those guys would be gone.
Yeah.
Right? Depends on what you got in the bench spot, but it's not a bad idea.
I think Winston has a little bit more upside than Tannehill.
I do.
But I'm a little just concerned about the yardage. Obviously, the 5 touchdowns per game isn't going to happen. You know, he's on pace right now to throw 85 touchdowns, which is not going to happen.
I'm concerned about Julio.
I am concerned a little bit about Julio, but man, Winston, yeah. I don't know, man. That's tough. Man. That's tough. Yeah, I think I want to say give me Winston for the rest of the season as a backup. I'd like to know who your starting quarterback is.
Yeah, same. Justin says the waiver wire hero list helped me a lot. Thank you, Justin. Like and subscribe, everybody, for weekly waiver wire hero sheets to help you win your league and help us get us to 100 subs. Justin also says, when is Fields getting the start? Andy sucks.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one to call. Same situation with the 49ers. We're going to see Justin Fields and Trey Lance coming into the games at particular moments, depending on game script, where they're lining up at, depending on if it's the red zone or the middle of the field, if they need short yardage. So it's going to be hard to tell, but I think Fields definitely by week 4, he's in there as the starter. Maybe even sooner. We could get a report on Thursday saying that Fields is the starter this week.
You think that would downgrade David Montgomery?
No, I think it upgrades him. It upgrades him. Yeah. Similar to Lamar Jackson and we'll say like a Mark Ingram or J.K. Dobbins last year.
Cool.
I know they want to run the ball. Fields just doesn't just run the ball. He uses his legs to escape the pocket. He's not just I'm sure they have designed plays for him, but yeah, I think it helps David Montgomery a little bit and opens up the threat of, hey, maybe they'll throw, maybe they won't. It's going to be tough.
Justin also wants to know, should I pick up Winston and drop Lance as a bench QB?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
If Winston's still available on your waiver wire or available as a free pickup after today, I think he may be there. Yeah, he might still be there next week unless he really lights it up against Carolina. But to drop Lance, I saw the utilization there. He came in. I believe he scored a touchdown. And I think you're going to see more of it. And like we said, it's only week 1. Don't get crazy. Hold. Don't panic. The switch from Jimmy Garoppolo to Lance is probably coming at some point this season.
Yeah, probably.
And it's your backup, so.
Yeah. And speaking of hold, OG2K going back to the Winston and Tannehill startup. His starter is Rodgers, so I understand the need to, or the sudden panic after
OG2K. If I'm in your predicament, I'm looking to see if I can try to trade Tannehill. Go to the Ryan Fitzpatrick. If Ryan Fitzpatrick was owned in your league, go out to him. If someone had a bad performance, like I'm trying to think who else had a bad QB performance. Maybe the Mac Jones owner, maybe the Tua owner. Maybe they want that extra QB in Tannehill, and then just go scoop up Winston that way.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Try to get some value back instead of just dropping him to the bench.
Very good idea. Yeah, definitely try to do that first before you just drop him straight up. TS, welcome in. What's going on? He has Julio and Rodgers, or she has Julio and Rodgers. I can never tell with TS. Has Julio and Rodgers. So I lost last week. So sorry to hear that. It's hard to say Julio, but I hope he bounces back.
I hope he bounces back too.
I really do.
Players do good. We never want to see players do bad.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have like
Julio's
literally my portfolio this year for fantasy players is wide open. I'm in 15 leagues, just like with that have to do with start sit, not counting best ball or anything like that. I did pretty good, Swanson. I went 9-6.
You went 9-6?
I went 9-6.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Very nice.
I would have went besides the 2 bad beats, I would have went 11-4, which would have been a lot better. But I'll take 9-6 in week 1.
9-6, not bad, man.
But yeah, I have Julio in a little bit of leagues, and I want to see him do better. Same with Tannehill, but we'll see what happens.
Yo, I love this right here. Justin puts the trademark behind football team. You got Giants or football team trademark? He said he's got Giants and the points. You want to dive in a little more to this Thursday night matchup real quick?
Yeah, we can do that. The line is Washington giving 3.5. The over under 40.5.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I got the
with
Giants
the spread
and the points.
I like it to be a close game. Daniel Jones has beaten the Washington football team all 4 times that all 4 times that he's played them.
Yep.
In his career. So give me the Giants and the points. I'll probably play that. And it's going to be a low scoring game, man. I would want to say 21-17. It's real close to the over under.
You're feeling the under, aren't you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could be looking at like a 20-13, 20-17 game. I'm feeling the under on that. Yeah, so give me the Giants and the points, parlay it with the under.
Okay, I like that. And Justin also wants to know, are there any Lions wideouts good for rest of season?
I'm in Ross St. Brown.
Yeah.
Yes.
TJ Hawkinson.
Well, yeah.
As a receiver.
I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. He I believe he had like 7 targets, caught 5 balls, 4 or 5 balls. Don't quote me on that. I'm not actually 100% on that. But he is definitely someone warranted to scoop and stash.
Okay, he had
I liked him
4 targets
season as well.
4 targets, 2 catches on 4 targets for 23 yards. And Tyrell Williams had 3 targets, 2 receptions.
Yeah. So
yeah,
he won the target share.
Yeah. All right.
Let's get into some of our picks of the week, Mr. Swanson, because man, we've got some good ones. And I'll kick it off. My sleeper of the week, especially now with OBJ being out, is Anthony Schwartz going up against Vernon Hargraves for Houston. I have it in my notes. If OBJ doesn't play, well, guess what? OBJ is out. We saw. I should have had this information ready to go.
3 catches on 5 targets, 3 catches, 69 yards.
There we go.
In his debut.
And I up against Houston and Hargraves, I believe that he can get into the end zone this week. Absolutely upgrade Landry as well. And do you have any of the No, you don't. Okay, so I'll say it. Austin Hooper upgrade, David Njoku upgrade.
Yes.
Obviously, you won't know which one to play. But yeah, all receiving options get a little bit of a boost up against that Houston defense.
Yep, absolutely. And
who do you got as your first guy?
We already did my sleeper, which was Jared Cook. So you want to go back? You want to just start over at quarterback?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So my start of the week is Justin Herbert at home against the Cowboys. I think it should be a great game. I know it didn't look great last week, even though they got the win. He had receivers drop 7 balls on him, 2 of which were touchdowns. It's out of character for Keenan Allen, but the O-line looked great, which is a huge upgrade. He didn't look pressured at all. And what I really want to talk about is his third down ability, man. Unbelievable third down ability, Justin Herbert. I think it was 14 of 19 that they completed or that they converted on third down, which is unheard of. They look like they're gelling, man. And I think going against Dallas next week, there are a lot of holes that they didn't fill. And I think that Herbert's a great lock to exploit those coming up. Who do you have at quarterback?
At quarterback, I have Russell Wilson.
Russell
Wilson. Yeah, definitely. He's still same old Russ. Going up against Tennessee, we saw what Kyler did this past week. Russ should do the same. He had 254, 4 touchdowns versus the Colts. And I think Lockett and Metcalf, as long as they are both healthy, they're going to eat against the Tennessee cornerbacks. And I believe Chris Carson has a pretty good game this week as well. So wheels up for the entire Seahawks team. But definitely for Russell Wilson, he's going to come in, do what he has to do, and then, on to week 3 for him.
Gerald Everett scored last week too, didn't he? Yeah, that's cool. That was nice to see.
What was that?
The Gerald Everett got 2 targets, one of which he got for a touchdown.
Yes.
That was just nice to see last week.
He was my sleeper tight end, I believe.
He was. Yep. And right. So who do you got a running back for your start of the week, Chef?
Running back start of the week is Melvin Gordon. He finished running back 6 week 1, 11 for 101 and a touchdown. Obviously, the 70-yard touchdown really helped him out against the Giants. Also had 3 receptions for 17 yards. I love Javonte Williams. I love the future for the Denver backfield, but it's still Gordon's backfield. And the Jags gave up 36.4 fantasy points versus Houston on the ground. And look for Melvin Gordon to be heavily utilized and even an uptick in passing work due to the fact that Jerry Jeudy is off the field. So, wheels up Melvin Gordon this week.
Very nice.
Who do you got?
Like I actually am sticking with David Montgomery. I know we talked about him earlier in the show, but what I like is that from the eye test, man, he looked like he did at the end of last season. He looked sharp, against last season's league's best defense and Aaron Donald. He looked great. So 16 for 108 and 1, just 1 catch, but a true workhorse back here in this offense. Not worried about Damien Williams. He's just coming in to let David Montgomery catch his breath from here and there. And I think he's going into a plus matchup against Cincy. So yeah, he's locked in for me as an RB1 this week, as opposed to last week where I started him as a fringe high-end RB2, low-end RB1.
Right on. And my wide receiver play of the week is I'm going with the Chargers here, Mr. Swanson, because you nailed it with Herbert, and it's Mike Williams. 12 targets, caught 8 balls for 82 yards and a touchdown. And I see this becoming like a potential shootout of the week versus the Cowboys. We saw what Tampa did against Anthony Brown. Antonio Brown did great. Trayvon Diggs is the one to concern me a little bit, but Mike Williams lines up on both sides. He out of the 12 targets, he had 6 on the left, 6 on the right, and his touchdown came on the left, which Anthony Brown plays. So I think they take advantage of Anthony Brown this week, and Mike Williams gets himself another touchdown, probably another at least 6 or 7 receptions, maybe more yardage this week as well.
Yeah, I like that call. I really do. Before we get to my wide receiver for the week, I do want to jump over to OG2K here, who says the guy who declined his Tannehill trade, the guy just declined my Tannehill trade who had Fitz. Oh, so he offered the Tannehill to the Fitz owner. So he added Winston for Tannehill. Okay.
The guy just declined my channel trade.
Yeah, we told him to go find the Fitz owner and
fair enough.
Fair enough. But yeah, fair enough.
Hey, you never
Way to
know,
go.
man.
Way to jump on it, man. Way to make that move. That would have been
You
sick
never
if that
know.
worked live on the show. But hey, man, those are the moves those are the moves you got to make. I love it. And we're talking here. I think we just covered it too. When Javonte Williams is getting the keys, hang on
It's
to
going
him
to be down
because
the road, man.
down the road he might be a second half of the season league winner for you. So
Right.
definitely hang on to him.
And just to piggyback on that or elaborate a little bit more on it, we saw it with Miles Sanders. You know, he didn't really come alive until about week 6 or 7. We saw it with DeAndre Swift last year, week 8. He took over the reins. We saw it with Cam Akers later on in the season. So we don't know exactly when it's going to happen. It's going to be based on matchup. It's going to be based on Melvin Gordon's stability and endurance. If Melvin Gordon could play a full season, it may be 2022 that we're looking at Javonte Williams.
You know what? It could be, but a lot remains
but
to be said.
I think he gets more utilized as he gets along, as we get further in the season, possibly, week 3, week 4. I'd have to look at the matchups and really depict that. I'm going to write that down because that's a good segment.
Yeah, that would be because he's going week 3. He's got Jacksonville next week, and then he's got the Jets in Baltimore weeks 3 and 4, Pittsburgh at 5 against the Raiders week 6, then Cleveland and Washington, then Dallas. He's got it goes back and forth.
Yeah, I'm going to do some digging on that over the weekend.
Look over. Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks. As always, thank you, Justin. And we got to get to this one real quick. Rolando Fortanel says, hey, should I drop Damien Harris for Brandon Cooks? I have very good depth of running backs and not that much of wide receivers.
Oh, man.
Brandon
Cooks is available on your waiver wire?
I feel like if you have great depth at running back, then just keep playing him in your flex.
Yeah, it depends on who your running backs are, to be honest.
I'd like to know who they are.
If you really need, like if you're in a league where you only start 2 running backs and play 3 wide receivers and you absolutely need another wide receiver, then I would say, okay, go ahead and do it. Because that Patriots backfield has always been a jeopardizing puzzle. We don't know.
It is.
On each and every given week, we don't know who it's going to be. Obviously, Damien Harris is the starter there, so you're in the right place with the right guy from the beginning. But Brandon Cooks looks like to be the target for Tyrod Taylor. And as long as he's on the field and he doesn't really have too much competition, the only other competition is obviously the running game, which they want to do it. They want to run the ball, with Mark Ingram, Phillip Lindsay, David Johnson, and whoever else they're going to sign when one of those guys go down. But Brandon Cooks seems to be the only receiver in that offense that's really viable for fantasy. So if you're in dire need, then I don't have a problem with it, especially if you're stacked at running back. If you have another three running backs that you can rely on season long, then yeah, go for it.
Cool. And before we get, let's jump into this one too. Justin says, do I need a backup on Pitts or should I not panic? I mean, I don't think you should panic, but you could also go scoop up Jared Cook.
Depending on who's available in your waiver wire.
Yeah.
But I think you could see Kyle Pitts actually doing better this week. He had, what do you have? 7.1 fantasy points. Tampa Bay gave up 11, 50 or 15.5, depending on scoring, to Tampa. To the Dallas Cowboys. So look for Pitts to get a little bit more involved this week as a receiver mainly. And I'm not sure about the news on
him being converted to receiver
on one of those cornerbacks for.
Oh.
No, it was for the cornerback. Let me see. Hang on one second.
For what? For Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I'll pull it up right here because that's the problem for me is the
matchup.
It's the matchup. So he's going to see a little bit of Devin White, which is really, really tough. But if he plays against one of the cornerbacks, which we saw were exploited by Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Amari Cooper, then he could have the upswing. So I'm not going to panic yet per se, but if you're only playing one tight end, yeah, I mean, Pitts, you got to ride with Pitts for a little bit. Pull that list up. He just put a list up in there.
This one?
He has Dalvin Cook. Oh.
Going back to Justin's list?
Yeah, Justin's list.
So yeah, this is Justin's list.
I guess these are the ones that are available.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anybody really that's popping out. Maybe Juwan Johnson, maybe Everett. But yeah, no, I'm sticking with Pitts this week over all those guys.
Cool. Yeah, I would too.
What else we
Lil
got?
Pete. We got Lil Pete 1629. What should I do with J Rob? Should I sell while he has value or wait it out?
If he still has value to somebody in your league, trade him.
Yeah.
Trade him.
Yeah, I would too.
Jaguars look terrible. Urban Meyer, first time coaching, and he just said that he's not going. Did you know USC was looking for a head coach? That went official this morning, and Urban Meyer turned around and said, "No, I am here to build this franchise." So he is in building mode. We know this, and it's not going to happen this year, unfortunately. So yeah. Oh, quick shout out: Eric Bieniemy is interviewing for that job at USC.
Really?
Yes.
Eric Bieniemy. Wow. I feel
He's always wanted to coach at USC.
Nice. Good for him. Hope he gets it. And Rolando says, I have Dalvin Cook, Jonathan Taylor as my running backs. Keenan Allen and Mike Evans as wide receivers, and T. Higgins as my flex.
And so Damien Harris.
And Damien Harris.
And he wants to go after Brandon Cooks. It would have to depend on your bye weeks for Dalvin Cook and Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
I don't have them in front of me. Because you won't be able to pick up a running back. You'd be easier picking up another flyer wide receiver on the waiver wire than you would being able to replace one of those two guys to keep up on your running back scores.
Cook's bye week is 7. Taylor's bye week is 14. That's a huge stretch. That's really good. That's awesome. That is fantastic. That's
and I think Harris will be a serviceable flex play week in and week out. I mean, he's going to give you at least 10 points depending on your scoring. So
yeah, cool. Thank you, Justin. Thank you always for coming in. Thank you for the support. Thank you for telling.
All right, so we have to get to this. We waited long enough. You said your tight ends?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I got to my wide receiver. But my wide receiver for this week was Cooper Kupp.
I want to get to the question.
All right, cool. So my wide receiver was Cooper Kupp. We already talked about him. My tight end, jumped into him, is Noah Fant. 8 targets in week 1, 6 catches for 62 yards. Judy is now out with a high ankle sprain. I think he definitely gets a bump. We talked about that too against Jacksonville. I wouldn't worry about him getting vulture with a touchdown. Hang tight. Tyrod loves the check down.
And my last guy of the week is Logan Thomas. I'm picking on my G-Man here. Nice. We talked a lot about it with Heineke. You can see the shorter passes to the tight end or satellite backs when he came in last year. That's what boosted Logan Thomas towards the end of the season. And I believe him and McKissick both become more prevalent in the offense. Washington will run the ball, take small chunks of the field through the air, and it will be Logan Thomas that gets a majority, especially with Curtis Samuel, still out. Last week against the Chargers, he had 3 for 30 and a touchdown. I think you can easily see 6 for 50 and a touchdown on Thursday night.
Okay. I like it.
All right, so let's get to this question. Shout out to Brad Urseg.
Yeah, man.
We appreciate all of you guys, everybody that was in the chat today, the listeners, the tilters, as we call them. We appreciate you. And Brad, he wrote in to @TheTiltIsReal on Twitter. He sent in a DM, and I told him I would answer the show. We would answer the show. Answer this flex question, this tilt on the show live. So Brad Urseg says, it's a flex question. He wants to know A-Rob, Jamar Chase, or CEH in his flex.
But he also wants to know if we would start.
That's the second part.
Yeah, so he would want.
The second part, yes. Also, would you start any of these guys over Terry McLaurin this week versus New York?
All right.
So my pick is I'm going to go with Allen Robinson here.
Okay.
And I forget why. I'm sorry. Oh man,
because he led the Bears with 11 targets last week.
I think he's going to have a better week than most people think.
Favorable matchup against the Bengals.
That's what it is, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to go back and forth. We saw the Bengals; they can get into shootout mode, and I think that Allen Robinson is due for a better game. That's pretty much what I had for that. CEH. He's got a great floor. I think I might actually play. CEH is going up against Baltimore. I think I might play CEH over Terry McLaurin this week. I don't know. Or play Jamar Chase. I would play Jamar Chase over Terry McLaurin this week.
My guy this week out of those is I'm going to take Jamar Chase. I loved what I saw from him. I know it's inflated by that big old touchdown. I think it was I forget how long that touchdown was.
It was like 7 for 50-yarder.
Yeah, it was something like that. 7 targets, 5 receptions, 101, and a tutty. I love seeing that. I love the chemistry between him and Burrow. I think you're going to see it again. It would be a tilt for me between A-Rob and Chase here. I think I would be chasing, if anything, and hope I got it, the rookie debut from Jamar Chase, as opposed to just taking the solid floor of Allen Robinson, having 11 catches and leading the targets last week, and then probably looking to do better than that against Cincy. So that's where my tilt would be between Jamar and Allen Robinson.
Yeah, it's out of one of those two guys. Whoever you like more, Brad, make your pick.
It also depends on if you're. I'd say go Chase. All right, so go Chase.
Well, you play one and then have the other one over Terry McLaurin.
Oh, is that what it was?
Easy. Yeah, that's what it is. He's like, would you play any of these guys over Terry McLaurin? Yeah. I'm nervous about Tyler Heineke. Taylor Heineke. I keep calling him Tyler. I'm nervous about Heineken.
There you go, Heineken.
In Washington, playing his debut start. So
I got the question now. Well, yeah, I know what you mean, but no, I got the question now. So
we were tilting on the tilt
on the wide receiver. Yeah, we're tilting on the tilt,
tilting on getting it out there,
and that's the name of the show.
So
then I would go A-Rob and Chase. I think those would be my two.
Well, that about wraps it up, Mr. Swanson. Great job, man. Great show today.
Great show, Chef. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thanks for driving the show. As always, you guys are the best. I'll lead it off here. You can find me at FF John JAWN Swanson. Thank you guys again all for being in the chat. This has been you guys had some good ones today, man. Some really good tilts. So keep an eye on things. Stay with us. You can send us a message on Twitter or at any time, day or night with your tilts. Doesn't have to be on the show.
Facebook, Twitter. Too, yeah. They comment on the YouTube channel. I see it all. I'm busy all week, but I help you guys out as much as I can, and we will continue to do so.
Yeah, and check out the Waiver Wire Hero Sheet. Head to the Twitter and head to our socials and to
www.tiltisreal.com. It's out there. It's up there in print. Shout out to Juan. We missed you this week, brother. We love you. Hope everything is okay. For all of you, follow Juan at FF One of a Kind on Twitter and at thetiltisreal.com. I am James Crease. You can find me at FF_chef on Twitter. Check out, I got a bunch of stuff going on, guys. I write daily or weekly for Ball Blast Football, mainly in Dynasty format. I have a series called Dynasty Discounts and Diversions, going over Dynasty trends. I also sit in on a Dynasty podcast for the Dynasty Happy Hour every Sunday night on Sunday night Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. And check out the YouTube Checklist YouTube channel. Shout out to Corey Spala, Jeff Bell, and all of our friends over at the Chaos League for the Coming Off the Edge show Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I know Justin likes it. He's been jumping on every time we've been live, so appreciate you. Appreciate all you tilters out there. Yes. And until next week, man. Or no, wait, most important part. Check us out Sunday morning at 10 a.m. for week 2 of the Sunday Tilt, the Fantasy Football Sunday Tilt. It is the best show of the week. We will help you set your rosters. We will help fix your tilts, and we will help you win your leagues. Until next time, guys.
One last thing. Pull your Thursday night players out of your flex.
That's right. Keep it real. We're out.
Keep it real. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the Tilt is Real Fantasy Podcast. Like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Check out our website at thetiltisreal.com for more great fantasy football content. We'll catch you guys next time on The Tilt is Real.